What's your reaction?
I didn't speak to Floyd directly. I spoke to some people in his camp. They say no, there's no truth to it whatsoever. They said that obviously Floyd is going to make money with whatever he decides to do.
What happens when the flashiest man in boxing starts flashing bounced checks? And what do you do when the undefeated champ suddenly looks like he's losing the fight with his bank account?
What's the most you've ever lost on a bet?
Probably $1 million.
Oh,
Who was that?
I want to ask.
What was it?
Tony Romo.
Stephen A. Smith has never been one to hold his tongue. But this time, it wasn't just about calling out weak defensive play or roasting a team for a playoff collapse. No, this time, the outspoken commentator turned his spotlight on none other than Money Mayweather himself, and boy did the gloves come off.
I sit here with sadness to report to you that I'm incredibly disappointed in one of my all-time favorite fighters, Floyd Money Mayweather.
Let's start with the claim. Floyd Mayweather recently boasted that he had purchased 62 buildings in New York City. That's right, 62. Not one, not two, 62.
I love bringing the people into my lifestyle, showing the people how I live. Now, I know you guys see me on a regular talking about real estate. Well, lately, I purchased 62 apartment buildings in New York City.
According to him, every single apartment, every storefront, every square foot was his. No partners, no investors, just pure, unfiltered Floyd.
All the buildings belong to me. I don't have no partners. And all the retail down low on my buildings all belong to me. Guess what? You can do the same.
I mean, what the hell is this?
To hear him tell it, the man had basically become the real estate emperor of the East Coast. Stephen A., however, wasn't buying the fairy tale. Not even for a second. He didn't just raise an eyebrow, he raised hell.
Here's what I do know, which is where my disappointment comes from. When you are as great as Floyd Money Mayweather, everybody doesn't deserve to be in your space. I know you like to make money. You're never gonna stop making money. Very, very few people on the planet know how to make money like you know how to make money. But some of this stuff has got to stop.
In one fiery segment, Smith openly accused Mayweather of misleading the public. He suggested the boxer wasn't the sole owner of those buildings, but merely held minor shares in a few properties. The entire presentation, Stephen implied, was a well-packaged illusion, a desperate smokescreen meant to distract from the reality that Mayweather was reportedly millions in debt and possibly involved in a $402 million scam. The number alone sounds outrageous. $402 million? How does a man who's earned over $1 billion in his career even find himself in this kind of mess?
Turn the music on for the stripper.
Stephen A. thinks he knows, because it's not about what you make, it's about what you keep.
Floyd doesn't mind saying things like that because he doesn't mind reminding folks of how valuable he is, that he's Floyd Money Mayweather. So he could sign a 4-fight deal, for example, and make over $1 billion.
Smith's delivery was explosive, borderline surgical in how he peeled back the gold-encrusted layers of Mayweather's financial persona.
Floyd Money Mayweather is one of the rare individuals in American history to have the luxury of not having to worry about that at all. And oh, by the way, he's filthy rich. I'll throw that in the equation again. And he's unapologetic about the authority and dominion that he has over his life.
Floyd Mayweather is gonna live his life like he wanna live it. How I live my life is, I'm gonna do what I wanna do. I'm gonna hang out with who I wanna hang out with. I'm gonna stay at the top, do what I want to, how I want to, and continue to control boxing, because when you speak boxing, you're speaking Mayweather.
While acknowledging the boxer's legendary career, he sharply drew the line between legacy and lifestyle. In Smith's eyes, Mayweather had sacrificed one for the other, and now he was paying the price. And what a price it is.
Well, I'm gonna let you know that you're not gonna take nothing away from us.
I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to. We have you on, and we're happy to have you on, and we're happy to talk Tank Davis.
Because once again, Mayweather Promotions, we are the past and the past, the present, and the future of sports and entertainment, and we will continue to go out there and dominate and beat the best.
I see the Lakers.
Let me be very, very clear. I don't give a damn what network it is. If you are a promoter representing Gervonta Davis, and we talking about the sport of boxing, you're gonna be welcomed on.
Period.
The boxing world once revered Mayweather for his skill and precision. The man could dodge punches like he could see into the future. He turned every opponent into a human shadow boxer, swinging at ghosts. But that same vision seemed to vanish outside the ring. When it came to managing wealth and safeguarding his future, Mayweather, in Stephen A's opinion, acted more like a rookie than a seasoned champ.
Can I just ask you a very, very straightforward question? How much money do you have in your bank account?
Which account? Which bank?
I don't even have one account. Give me the amount of money you have in one of your accounts.
$300 million?
Dollars?
Yeah, in different accounts.
He pointed to the fact that Mayweather continued fighting in exhibition matches long after retirement, not for the challenge, but for the check.
All right, well, Floyd was asked about Stephen A's remarks by FightHype.com, and here's his response. Listen, I don't give two flying expletive what Stephen A. Smith say. I don't give an expletive what Stephen A. Smith gotta say. He's just a critic.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. continues to tell the public that he just wants to give the fans what we want to see. My response is, people have been asking for Pacquiao for years. There's no excuse to pass on Manny Pacquiao. I'm acknowledging your greatness, but you can't give us this rinky-dink fight, because that's what a fight with Amir Khan would be. It would not be worthy of what we anticipate the closing out portion of Floyd Mayweather's career should be.
The Logan Paul spectacle stood out the most. Here was a YouTube personality with zero championship credentials standing across from one of the greatest boxers of all time. And why? Because Logan had more Instagram followers than Tyson Fury.
Did you fight Floyd or something?
Yeah.
Did he pay you to lose?
Nah,
What happened?
he paid me. I wish you'd paid me.
How much you owe you?
Probably between 2 and 3.
Yeah. So is that your only loss was Floyd?
No, I didn't lose. It was an exhibition, so there's no loser.
There's no loser in exhibition?
No.
So you both are winners? It's like a tie. It's not a good feeling. It's like tongue kissing your sister or something. Not a great feeling.
Stephen A. nearly lost his mind over that one.
Really? That's what we've come to? It's pretty damn sad. I'm starting to lose faith, I must admit.
For a man who once stood toe-to-toe with elite boxers, choosing Logan Paul as a dance partner was like watching a Rolls-Royce roll up to a bumper car arena. It didn't make sense unless the only thing that mattered was money. And to Stephen A., that was the problem. Money had become the only thing that mattered.
Let's go, Logan! Let's go!
Mayweather used to be a symbol of what was possible with discipline, focus, and talent. Now, Smith argues, he's become a cautionary tale about what happens when ego and extravagance take the wheel.
Is this fight bad for boxing?
I think it is. I don't like it. I'm looking at Logan Paul's numbers here. He's got 19.1 million Instagram followers. So he's got an audience there, him and his brother. You know, when you talk about an exhibition against Conor McGregor, that's different. He was the biggest star in the UFC. You were the biggest star in boxing, because I think Logan Paul only had, like, his record's like 0-1 or 1-1. And he's boxed a total of 6 rounds. I don't think someone like that should be in the ring with Floyd Money Mayweather, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, we have ever seen.
His words weren't just criticism, they were an autopsy of a fading legacy.
One of the reasons why people watch him fight is not because he's like Mike Tyson, just goes out and destroys people. They like watching him fight because they hate him, because he talks so much. And he's like, look at my $1 million watch, look at my jet, look at my house, look at this. This is my small watch that I take sometimes, but I want to show you. I bring out the big boy, and it brings out this watch that's covered in diamonds. It's like $5 million. And so you hate him.
He dissected Mayweather's choices with the precision of a surgeon and the fury of a betrayed fan. Smith didn't deny that Floyd had made money. He just couldn't overlook how quickly it appeared to vanish. Mayweather's obsession with showcasing his wealth, whether it was a $1.8 million watch, custom jets, or gaudy mansions, was once viewed as brash and entertaining. But now, those same displays look more like desperate distractions. Stephen A. didn't just hint at bankruptcy, he practically screamed it. The real estate claim was the tipping point. Smith called it theatrical and misleading. He challenged Floyd to show receipts, actual proof of full ownership, and not just flashy videos posted to social media. To Smith, it was all part of the show. Smoke, mirrors, and $1 million lies.
It was so embarrassing. Floyd, you're 50 years old. You're a legend in the sport. I've stood up for you in countless interviews.
including Shannon Sharp's podcast last week. But you have to stop embarrassing yourself with these exhibitions. I know life is hard, I know life is expensive, but come on, dude, put your legacy first. Nobody wants to remember you like this. And it gets worse, your jeweler filed a lawsuit against you in Miami. And many are saying you're gonna have to sell off your assets. I hate seeing this happen, bro.
It's not the first time questions about Mayweather's finances have surfaced. Long before the real estate spectacle, there were reports of unpaid taxes and rumors of borrowing millions just to stay out of prison. Stephen A. revisited those incidents with a tone that said, "I told you so," reminding viewers that the cracks had been there for years. Then there's the influence Mayweather wields. According to Smith, young athletes don't admire Floyd's footwork or ring IQ anymore. They admire his bank account. They idolize the flash, not the fundamentals. That, Smith argued, is the real tragedy, because Mayweather was once the poster child for technical excellence. Now he's just a walking, talking brand name who fights social media stars for clout and cash. Even Smith admitted he once respected Floyd's hustle, but he couldn't ignore the shift. The man who fought for glory now only fights for green, and the younger generation is watching, learning all the wrong lessons. And if the recent exposés are true, Mayweather isn't even good at keeping that green. According to reports cited by Smith, Mayweather's net worth was nowhere near what he claimed. Allegedly, despite the billion-dollar career, much of the money was gone. Lavish spending, poor investments, and mounting debt had taken their toll. The man who once printed money like a mint was now allegedly teetering on financial collapse. The number 402 million isn't just shocking, it's terrifying. That's not a dip in the account, that's a full-blown sinkhole. And if Stephen A. is to be believed, it's not just about losses. It's about deception, misleading the public into believing a lie, inflating ownership, creating a fantasy empire in New York that doesn't quite exist. Floyd didn't just risk his money, he risked his credibility, and to Smith, that might be worse than going broke. Once a legend, always a legend? Not quite. Not if the legend becomes a walking meme of broken promises and unpaid bills. Smith hammered this point home relentlessly. He questioned not just Floyd's choices, but the entire facade built around him. The private jets, the luxury watches, the massive entourage, how much of it was real, and how much was just part of the money Mayweather illusion. The satire in Stephen A.'s rant wasn't just for laughs, it was a warning shot to the next generation. Be careful who you idolize, because behind the gold chains and million-dollar smiles, there might be a crumbling empire held together with duct tape and denial. And let's not forget the people around Mayweather. According to Stephen A., even they've had enough. Friends, former business partners, and even rappers like 50 Cent have weighed in. They've claimed Mayweather was reckless with his finances.
And I'm sitting there going, yo, when you gonna give me the money?
Because you're already investing.
Right, like when you gonna give me your half of the money back. But I ain't trying to press him because he just got out of jail, right? So it's like, let him cool his heels before you.
Was that in the millions?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you sitting there big, and I'm like, yo, so when... But see, the fighters are an asset in themselves. They are that talent, regardless. Right. You know, so I'm looking at him going, so there ain't no pressure there, but I'm saying, when is he going to say he wants to, you know, to give me the other half of it? Why I got to ask you for it?
Right.
And then when he...
Are we talking over $2 million?
It's about that.
Oh, okay.
At that point, it was, you know, invested in.
All right.
So look, he goes, when he finally does bring up the actual, the situation, he acted like he didn't know anything. Like, I didn't tell y'all to do that. I didn't tell you to do that.
Oh, man.
Gambling millions and spending like money had no end. But it did, and now that end seems to be in sight. Smith's energy throughout his takedown was off the charts. You could practically feel the heat through the screen. He wasn't just analyzing, he was detonating. Line after line, jab after jab, Floyd wasn't in a ring, but he was definitely getting hit. And it's not over. If the reports are accurate, Mayweather's financial troubles might still be unraveling. And Stephen A. Smith is ready with the mic and the flamethrower for every twist and turn. At the end of the day, Stephen A's message was simple: legacy matters. And while money might come and go, what people remember is how you earned it, kept it, and respected it. Mayweather had the talent to build an untouchable legacy, but if he's not careful, the only thing untouchable might be the creditors knocking at his door. Floyd Mayweather will always be a part of boxing history, but thanks to Stephen A. Smith, his chapter might now come with an asterisk, a reminder that even the richest fighters can't dodge the truth forever. So, if you enjoyed this takedown, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell, stay sharp, and don't get caught flashing wealth you don't have, unless you want Stephen A. to come swinging with a verbal uppercut.